recorded at 416 parts per million in July of 2021. The concentration of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is higher than ever before.
Human activity is resulting in increased carbon emissions. We know this. We can actually see the carbon isotopes and see that the origins of them are human-made. So the role of carbon dioxide in warming the planet is that it's part of the many greenhouse gases that are increasing the global temperature. And while it doesn't seem like a decimal point increase in global temperature has that much of an impact, we're actually seeing it and living it right now. We can see increased hurricanes, droughts, heavy precipitation events, and wildfires. And so how do we actually get a handle on what we've caused? Well, that's the good news, is that we can course correct for our activities, and we can ensure that what we do now going forward is aligned to the science.
To preserve a livable climate, emissions must be cut in half by 2030 and reduced to net zero by 2050. Now, governments, companies, and investors around the globe are setting emission reduction targets in an effort to achieve a more sustainable planet.
It's really important that we recognize 2050 as a benchmark along the route to the maximum temperature increase that humanity can withstand by the end of the century. That's 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit. So we need benchmarks leading up to 2100. Where do we need to be by mid-century? Where do we need to be by 2030?
Each individual building owner could spend weeks on doing the math themselves on how to reduce their carbon emissions. And it could take up to a decade or more just to understand those emissions, let alone find actionable, personalized solutions that can help reduce them. It can get overwhelming. Dynamhex has the data available today for you to be able to spend more time on those personalized reduction strategies and less time on doing the math and configuration, as well as a way to track that progress over time.
At present, advances in data monitoring tools and technologies are helping individuals and organizations understand their total footprint so they can reduce emissions and improve supply chain operations.
Tracking extremely complex and granular climate data is the only way to make decisions actionable. And by actionability, we can get to the targets that we have set on emission reductions in the time we have left before the atmosphere heats up at dangerous levels.
So, taking advantage of all of these sorts of changes, we have AI, we have remote sensoring, we have aerial monitoring now. We can take all of that data, put it through our process, which is hundreds and thousands of data points, and within minutes provide you an accurate carbon footprint for your entire company. The data platform explores thousands of potential options that provide the best solutions for communities, business, and governments to address climate change.
Now, localized data is helping collaborators take the guesswork out of energy transition and net zero goals so they can manage the complexities associated with making sustainable decisions and investments.
Well, Dynamhex was created to democratize climate action. Through our software, what was open and available only to a few now is distributed to entire communities, cities, individuals, households, so everyone can understand their climate impact and, more importantly, act on it.
Using artificial intelligence to create equitable and actionable carbon reduction roadmaps, the Carbon Accounting and Emissions Management Platform helps to measure, report, and reduce overall operational carbon footprint.
Our digital twin technologies enable anyone, anywhere, to access the software and be able to look up their emissions either building by building or vehicle by vehicle. With a few clicks, you can do an entire emissions inventory that we then track and automate. So you can have access to solutions from providers that help you reduce your emissions, such as carbon offsets or clean energy products, as well as be able to download reports for disclosures.
This personalization enables businesses of any size, sector, and location to measure their individual asset, operation, or aggregated footprint while delivering an auto-updating reduction roadmap, compatible with most climate disclosure and reporting standards.
The innovative application also allows cities to track their carbon emissions and find cost-effective solutions to reduce output with actionability.
By automating 90% of the data processes that are currently conducted and computed within the application itself, we have significantly reduced the cost that it takes cities to aggregate all this data and to act on it and tracking it over time. By personalizing this with the data that we have pre-run, we can make it more accessible for our customers to take the right decisions.
As machine-enabled and autonomous technologies get smarter, decision sets will continue to become easier to understand, leading to a better goal outcome and a more sustainable future.
Climate data is dramatically increasing in both complexity and volume. We label and structure and run analysis models through deep learning methods and other artificial intelligence methods to create insights that not only create awareness, but also actionability.
I'm really excited by the innovation that's in the pipeline. If we can actually take this data, we can now make our houses, our communities, our cities that much more efficient. Think about the smart devices and all the data that's being generated there and how much more efficient those devices can become for us. It's a really exciting time for data generation and consumption.